Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between Shuttle and Force here on Fighting Spirit. Top left-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player Force, and in the bottom left, it is the red Protoss player Shuttle. Alright, PvZ time. I know I just cast a PvZ featuring Shuttle, but man, PvZ is my favorite matchup, so I figured I would cast another one. Okay, so top left-hand spawn versus a bottom left-hand spawn here. Let's see which direction Shuttle probe scouts, shall we? There we go. There is the probe scout. Throwing down a pylon and then going to go ahead and scout for where the Zerg is. There we go. Pylon up and, oh, going the right direction. Woohoo! Man, Shuttle is pretty darn good at guessing which way his opponent is on Fighting Spirit here. This is the second time in a row he has done that. Force here is an incredible Zerg player, you guys. I cast a game between these two players on Fighting Spirit back on July 6th, and I got 10,000 views. So, anyway, looks like an overpool here at about 9 supply for Force. Not crazy aggressive, just a safe build, just in case there's some kind of a, double gateway pressure here from Shuttle, or even a proxy, right? And it's pretty darn good against cannon rushes as well. And considering the fact that this Overlord, this Overlord has seen nothing, safe is better than sorry, I can tell you that much. So the probe sees a pool first here, well, a pool after Overlord here, and says, alright, just need to throw down a forge. No big deal. Might try to keep the probe around. Yeah, try to keep it around and see how many lings are going to come out of that, out of these eggs. Well, they're not eggs yet, but they're larvae, and they will be eggs very shortly. You can't die, though. You're here for intel, my guy, so come on. Make sure that's happening, and really, it's just one pair of lings. So at this point, no real pressure is going to be placed here, but this is an interesting place to throw down his hatch. He goes for his hatch at the third base location. His natural is bereft of any buildings at all. And I'm wondering if the probe's going to get down here and say, oh, no expansion. This is aggressive stuff, but also can see the entire lack of gas and the drone count and say, nah, this isn't going to be anything too aggressive at all. You need speedlings to be aggressive. Slowlings really can't get much done, especially in the age of Forge Fast Expand like we're seeing here from Shuttle. So don't you even worry about it. Throwing up a gateway at the front, got a cannon back here, and we'll be totally fine. Overlord's going to try to get a scout off on what the further attack is going to be here once that gateway is done and the cyber core is done, but it will be some time, and dang, Force going for his natural now. So I love this. I really like going for the quick 3 hatches here at about 3 minutes if your opponent goes for a true Forge Fast Expand. As the Overlord sees, that was not a feint. It's definitely going to be a fast play here. There are not any number of gateways up yet, so the ability for the Protoss player to kill you right now is virtually nil. It is actually not virtually nil, it is literally nil. So don't you worry your pretty little head. Everything's going to be fine. The mainer transfer down to the natural base. What up? Let's get mining from these mineral patches and everybody will be extremely pleased. Ling's trying to make sure a probe scout can happen because what are we doing up here? Hydralisk den opening. Just want to make sure that is not easily scouted by the Protoss and is not going to be easily scouted at all. Any probes that try to get up here will just die if they try too hard. And metabolic boost is actually being skipped. We're not getting speed at all. Definitely wants to save that gas for upgrades for Hydras, which I can't necessarily argue with, and he's going to try to get some Hydra pressure down here at the front door of Shuttle. Now, Shuttle, at this point, is in danger of losing a couple of buildings here. Probably at least one at this stage if Hydra starts showing up, and there's that range. With that range, with the cyber core just now warping in, it's going to be rough. If all you have are Dragoons and Zealots versus this, it's going to be a bad time. If they are Zealots with speed, on the other hand, as a Citadel of Adun is coming up, you should be able to shove the Hydras off your front door. But there is going to be a bit of time here where Hydras are going to own your front. They're going to put the pressure up, and it's going to be really annoying to deal with. So, in the production, do we actually have any Hydras? No, not quite yet here. Just kind of trying to saturate up the natural base. Third base looks pretty good. It's a 22 drone count right now from Force. This is not too shabby. Shuttle's at 27 supply on that worker count. I love the update to the replay interface that gives us this information. It is beautiful. And there are the first 2 Hydralisks, 3 Hydralisks, actually in production right now. So the Hydra's going to come down, and when this Hydra pressure is happening, what he wants to do is just drone up back home. Wants to be able to catch up to the Protoss player in worker count, if at all possible. Try to make sure the Protoss can't move out, try to make sure the Protoss can't get a third base, and Shuttle's going to be trapped for a little bit of time here. There's your additional gateways coming up in about 5 minutes. Additional pylons to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. And here come a bunch of Zerglings. Again, they are slowlings. Wow, actually getting Hydralisk movement speed before metabolic boost. Interestingly enough. So, alright. So these lings aren't going to be able to accomplish much of anything at all. More and more Hydras in production here. I'm loving what Force is doing, keeping that pressure up. Zealot count fairly high, and leg enhancements is about halfway complete. So Zerglings are trying to get the Zealots to come out here and challenge them away from that cannon, because the cannon exists, and that's bad. Additional cannons actually coming in. And look at the range on that Hydra. Can try to take down that gateway, doing damage on it at the very least. This is what we're talking about right here. This kind of damage, this kind of pressure. Predicted it, saw it coming. This is nothing that's going to frighten Shuttle, though. He knows exactly what to do. And the answer is wait for Zealot legs, or, you know, wait for Storm if you can wait that long. They're going to try to angle on in here and take down the Forge, too, and I'm pretty sure they can. Boy, oh, darting right on in, too, trying to take down these cannons. Cannon 1 down. Nicely done. All the Zerglings are dead, though. The Zealot count is high, and they have speed. And they're going to chase your Hydras down. Some reinforcing Hydras coming from the right side, though. This is pretty good stuff right now, but letting the Hydras get right on top, or letting the Zealots get on top of your Hydras is an exceptionally bad thing. Is it enough to actually take these Zealots down? Everybody is severely injured at this point. The Hydras trying to jump back on in, take these cannons down. Cannon down, cannon down. That pylon is an Artosis pylon, but the cannons getting wiped out is pretty good too. Ooh, more Zealots coming in. More Hydras into production. Reinforcements coming from across the map right now. One of them kind of got stuck along the way for some reason. Overlord is scouting the main, and that Forge, like I said, is not long for this world. One of the Zealots is getting hit too, which means he needs to move back a little bit, or he's going to die. He does move back just a little bit. We're wide open right now. In production, 4 more cannons. Are any of these pylons? Dude, this... Oh, does this pylon cover these cannons? I don't know. Either way, a DT's out. Kind of love that, except for the fact there's detection already from Force. So Dark Templar's like, oh, right, there's an Overlord already here. Storm's almost done. And this is where you can actually get the Hydras off your front porch and actually expand. This Overlord, oh, this positioning is so good. The Dark Templar has a hard time going either left or right, with the Overlord sitting right here on the front door. This is so annoying. Ooh, Hydra gets dragged into a confrontation and murdered, though, without getting much of a shot off at all. That's pretty good. I mean, as many Hydras as you can kill at this stage of the game is going to be good for Shuttle. Meanwhile, back home, droning up. It's going to be at about equal worker count here with Shuttle in the next couple of seconds here. He's going for a lair. Could be for Lurker Aspect, which is pretty awesome. Could just be trying to rush to Defilers at this stage of the game, as that is how you beat Protoss at this level of StarCraft. You've got to have those Defilers. If you don't have them, it is really, really hard to win. Oh my gosh, the whole position Hydras get stormed. That is the double-edged sword of hold position. You want to hold position so that a Zealot coming in can't aggro your Hydra back into these cannons. But hold position means Hydras don't run out of storm. So they'll hold still and get roasted up there pretty effectively. Most of these Hydras here in this group are pretty much dead, which is not what you want to see. And now that Storm is out, that is a gilded invitation from Shuttle to Force to get the heck off of my property. And that's what he's going to do. Now, the aggression for Shuttle can begin if he's interested in that. Or he could just try to establish a third base, which at the 8-minute mark is something he's been itching to do for quite some time. Yeah, a lot of creep colonies coming in, surprisingly. Why so many creeps? Is there a Stargate up? It's got to be Sunkens. He's just worried about Zealot pressure is all this is. Which, Zealots with legs pretty scary. They don't have any upgrades because that Forge died. You remember that? Replacement Forge is here. It's working on upgrades, but it's going to be a while. Oh, these are going to pop right in the nick of time here. Yeah, that's enough Hydras with 3 Zealots. Don't want to go up that ramp at all. Again, normally charge lots, or speed lots, pretty happy to deal with Hydralisks in the open field. But going up a ramp is not something you want to do generally in StarCraft if the enemy has, forces at the top of said ramp. Robotics facility on the way. Might be for Reavers. Reavers, another excellent answer to the Hydralisk problem that exists. But so far, I gotta say, Force is in a pretty good spot. He's sitting on 3 bases. He really wasn't able to kill the Protoss just because the number of cannons that were up. But he did some damage. And he's in a pretty good spot right now. He's got equal on that worker count. He's down about 20 supply overall in army, but he really wants to save up some resources for, well, 6 Mutalisks. All right, 6 Mutas in production right now, and if your opponent doesn't have a Stargate and there are no Corsairs, you're going to have a better time with it than if Corsairs exist. So I love this Muta play. The problem is tons of cannons at the natural. The main has a cannon and a High Templar ready to storm anything that comes in here. The problem is if you sit the Mutalisks over the mineral line, the High Templar will storm its own mineral line sometimes, more often than not. Dark Templar gets sniped out. Again, Overlord vision and detection is just fantastically good for Zerg. It's one of those racial advantages they have to where getting DTs in is really hard to do if you're a Protoss, just because, you know, Overlords are everywhere and they have the detection. Observatory on the way. Actually, first building from the robotics facility is an observatory for the observers. Interestingly enough, I was expecting a robotic support bay, but so far, so good. 10 drones on the way, too, by the way, as this is happening. Dragoon count is actually high enough. Oh, there we go. Trying to take down, flying back through the storm. Okay. That went about as well as it could for Force. He took some damage on a couple of his High Templar, but none of them died, and all the Mutas are dead. The storm placements were perfect from Shuttle, and Force went from being in a pretty good position to what I would say is a bad position. Really bad position here. I feel like Shuttle should move out with the storm. Is he doing it? He's got so many Dragoons. Dragoons are so good against Sunkens, especially if they have upgrades, and they do have the +1 attack upgrade. Metabolic boost coming in for the Zerg about 11.5 minutes. And he is going for lurkers. He's got a hive on the way. He's throwing up another creep colony at the third base. He is leaning heavily on static defense, which does not bode well for him into the late game. It's going to be Zerglings. It's going to be lurkers. Against a Dragoon heavy force, that's not a bad idea. The problem is the Storm, right? The Storm is going to be really good against both the Zerglings and the lurkers, just because they can storm them no matter if they can see them or not. I mean, there will be detection because observers are out, and there it is. Third base getting set up now from Shuttle on the left side at the 9 o'clock position. I really don't see any sign at all that the Zerg player is interested in expanding to a fourth base, which is going to be a problem for him the longer this goes on. Defiler Mound on the way, but that means there are no Defilers for this upcoming battle at all. And poking in a little bit to see what we're up against. And the answer is 5 Sunkens is a lot of Sunkens. Zerglings making sure one of these Dragoons goes down. But now they're all dead. Storming the Lurker, trying to get out of there. No! Ends up dead, catching the end of that storm. Oh, that preemptive storm was so... Another one! Oh! Shuttle is killing it right now. Morlings in production. They keep trickling in, getting stormed as they try to jump on top of these Dragoons. Every single lurker that plants gets a storm. A beautiful personalized storm just for him. Dragoons firing from distance. There is no Dark Storm to protect them from the Dragoons at all. This is really, really good for Shuttle right now. Zergling gets in. Is he going to force a cancel on that third base, or something like that is going on over there? There is no third base from Shuttle, and there should be one. All the storms. I don't even know what to tell you about these storms, ladies and gentlemen. They are super good. Shuttle so patient to just storm the Zerg units as they try to come in here and make something happen for themselves. It is 121 to 76 supply. Lurkers burrowing in, trying to help with these Zealots because they're really hammering the Zerglings right now, and all the Zerglings are dead. Zerglings are what you want here, especially because they have adrenal glands, which just did finish up. And there's your third base coming up. A Zergling could probably try to stop that at the very least. I'm not sure it would succeed, but it could try. But I think we're more concerned about this attack coming in that is still pushing into the natural base. All of the Sunkens are going to be dead here in a second. Scourge going after the Observers. Both Observers get taken down. Lurkers are better, but there are no Lurkers here to be invisible is your problem right now. Did you just... Wow, the storms. So much storm, but Force just scratching and clawing his way into not dying during this push. And somehow he has earned himself a reprieve. This Zergling really should be going after this Nexus. I feel like that's what we want. You know what you need are lurkers at this point. If there's no... Oh, just kidding. There's a new observer. Never mind. Boy, I don't know. I don't know if Shuttle's just going to win this thing here. He's been doing some serious damage. He's up about 30 supply right now. He doesn't have the worker count, but he has the army supply to make something happen. Sunkens are trying to keep the Zerg player alive as long as possible. Can't believe this Zergling over here has done literally nothing. At least not for a while. Oh, nice lurker egg on the ramp. The Zealots don't care. The Zealots are like, hey, we're just going to walk up here past the lurker egg if that's okay with you. No! Say the Zergling, it's not okay with us. Engage at the sunken Zerglings. Make the Zealots get a little bit closer to your static defense. That's what we want right now. He is taking the top right-hand base for a fourth, but I don't know how much use he's going to get out of that. That Zergling does go down to Zealots. That's million Zealots. Like, that was a shellacking. Plague on the way, which means the Filers are going to be at play here, trying to storm that mineral line a little bit, too. Woo! This has been non-stop, this game. Ever since that Hydra pressure, it's just been absolutely ongoing. You're trying to cancel upgrades. He's trying to cancel Carapace. He does. Oh, he cancels ground Carapace. Lurker gets in, does nothing before it dies. I think this third base is done. The Sunkens cannot handle the combined might of these +2 Zealots and Archons. Zerglings making it harder. Zerglings and Sunkens are going to work together in this situation, but one or just the other is not going to work for force. Meanwhile, more Zealots trying to get up here at the natural base while the third base is under attack. Great Storm again. High Templar does have 11 kills. The Zergling is going to try to... Oh, hang on. The Zergling is going to kill him. Defilers are big, juicy targets for these Zealots. Maybe if you Plague them? A Plague would be really good. Hey, there it is! We did Plague them. Now, you want to engage with them at some point. Alright, I guess that was enough. You want to engage with them now. It totally worked out. So we're 3 base to 4 base. Somehow, Force, under all of this pressure, has been managing to get a 4th base up and saturating it because he's insanely good. He's still down 26 total supply. He's only got 34 drones, so the 44 probes that exist for the Protoss player Shuttle. And Shuttle's making a Shuttle as well as a robotic support bay. So he's going to try to land a killing blow here against Force using Reaver drops, I'd assume. Storm drops are also on the table just because, you know, 2 more High Templar are in production, but Reavers have definitely begun production here too. So, man, if this base didn't exist for Force, I'd feel a lot worse about it for him. But Zealot does scout that it exists, which means Shuttle might want to try to take a 4th base of his own down here at the 6 o'clock. Looks like he's scouting it very much for that purpose. What is... Oh, they're killing their own cannon down this way so they can get out. That's fantastic. I guess it's easier if this pathway's open. I don't know. Don't look at me. Shuttle speed is coming in. Again, any kind of speed you can get in StarCraft is good speed. Are these lurkers? Lurker drop, Defiler drop. This will be a Darkstorm drop, ladies and gents. Storm kind of gets wasted over here on these Zerglings. And another one on the Lurkers. Another Dark Swarm would be incredible right here, but the Lings don't even need it. Holy crap, the probes need to get out of here. The Dark Swarm is really good, but the Zealots are the right answer to it. These Zerglings are trying to take down this Nexus, which is hilarious. Because they're not going to, but they were close. They did some damage over here. It is 41 probes now to 40 drones. We're even on economy. This is a good game. These two players really bring the best out of each other, I feel like, so far, based on the stuff that I've cast on my channel anyway. Of so many Zerglings. Wow, with Adrenal Glands and 1-1 versus Zealots with legs and 3 attack. Which you think the Zealots would be okay here, but Adrenal Gland is a really good upgrade. In direct fights, anyway, Adrenal Glands is much better than just being able to run faster, which is what the Zealot Legs upgrade does. Archon does go down, which means all the Zerglings are dead, but that's probably a fair trade if you are forced there. Still 141 to 83 supply in favor of the Protoss. His macro has been through the roof. He's got a Reaver filled with shuttles right now. Greater Spire coming in. Ultralisk Cavern finishing up. He's going to try to... I mean, I feel like Hero would have had this base already. There's a reason Hero is a higher ranked player than Force. Just in general. Overall. I don't even know if Force is playing anymore. This feels like an older replay, but I don't have that kind of metadata, unfortunately, on the replay file names that I have. Sometimes people will tell me, hey, this is from 2009, and I'll trust them. But there's no way to verify that independently, you know what I mean? So Lurkers and Links here, it feels kind of ragtag for Force, especially with these Reavers wrecking everyone's face. The static defense face, the Zergling face, the Lurker face gets wrecked too. These probes are just kind of hanging out. I guess there's really nowhere for them to go until another base comes up. I mean, I don't even think Ultras are the right idea here. Not with the Reavers on the ground. Scourge trying to find the Observers. Ooh, almost the Shuttle. Does get a hit off there, but doesn't kill it. Hydra's coming down from the top side. What an insane game this has been. Absolute chaos right now. But it really does feel like Shuttle has the major upper hand in this game. I know the worker count is high for the Zerg player, but I'd love to see him expand one more time, just for additional gas income especially, so we can go for more Mutalisks, which is Muta the answer here. The Archon count's kind of scary. Again, these are +3 Archons and +3 Dragoons in the mix. Decent Plague. No taking down the Shuttle today with your Scourge, ladies and gentlemen. Reavers just very slowly, methodically, because that's all they can do. They fire slowly and they move slowly, but that's their thing. They hit like a truck. That's the trade-off, y'all. Ooh, 2 Guardians? Look at this. Look at this using 2 Guardians. And then they get stormed and they both die. This is why you don't make all that many Guardians at all in StarCraft, is because they're so slow and they're so squishy and they die so easily to anybody that knows how to do anything with them. But at the same time, what else do you do here? Mutalisks don't work with all the Archons on the ground. But the Archons on the ground means also that your Guardians are having a bad time. I mean, this is just crushing behavior right now from Shuttle. I kind of feel like he has this game. I'm looking at it. Plague gets tossed down from the top side. There's your Storm on the Defiler, or the Guardians. Additional Guardians are coming into the party and trying to take down this Archon, and they get him before any further Guardians die. But when you have Zealots inside your main base, plagued, or rather, yeah, plagued or not, yeah, this is just a, woo! This is a masterclass in why you don't make Guardians in ZVP. All right, I think that's it. 148 to 58 supply. There's your good game. Force has left the game, and Shuttle's your winner in about 22 minutes. Yeah, I mean, what do you do in this situation where you got the Zealots, Dragoons, Archons, a lot of Archons? I mean, it's probably got to be with the Reavers, though. You want to try to snipe off the Reavers with Mutalisks would be my guess. And then just a bunch of Hydras. Just so many Hydralisks. Especially if you have plagued the Zealots, they're much easier to take down. Ultras don't seem like the right answer here. Zealots trade pretty well with them. But if you have a lot of Ultras, maybe. It's just all of his tech structures were here. Right? Economically, he was okay, depending on how many drones got out of here, which I'm not sure was any. But end of the day, his tech structures are here. All of them. You can see them right there. Greater Spire going down as the game ended. So nicely done. I mean, that early Hydra pressure was good. I loved the expansion to the 3rd base, or the 4th base, while that pressure was coming in. I loved that he held, but he just kept losing so much and just not making good trades over and over and over again. He did kind of deny this 4th base for a while, it feels like, and the 3rd base a little bit. But if he'd been able to kill the 3rd base, I think he wins the game. However, he was not. Too many Zealots. The Dark Swarm was a good idea, but the Zealots do not care. All right, check out that final score as we get out of here. We're looking at 154,000 points for the Protoss, 139 for the Zerg, 491 Zerg units killed out of 593 produced. Pretty good from Shuttle. And then again, Zerg player does more, mines more gas, mines more minerals, and spends about 6,000 more resources on stuff. But when you end up losing 500 units and your opponent ends up losing 116, yep. That's your ratio right there. You can spend more all you want, but at the end of times, it's not going to work out for you. So nice job by Shuttle. Didn't really even get any super good Reaver drops off or Storm drops off. And I'm saying this knowing fully that somebody in the comments is going to be like, yeah, you missed a Storm drop at about 15 minutes, and I'll be very sad, but regardless, good match. Had a lot of fun with it. Hope you did too, because that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.